Hey everybody, how's it going? I was going to wait a bit longer to start episode 3 of our little Let's Play, but quite a few interesting things have been accomplished, so I figured I'd show you. I managed to find some really huge iron and gold veins, as well as some copper, lead, and silver. So that's pretty exciting by itself. Also, we have the Antique Atlas, one of my favorite mods. You see it's got a sort of mini-map in the upper right corner there. And if you right-click it, you got a full-size, or almost full-size, map that you can pan around and leave markers on. It only shows you the above ground, so there's no cave maps or anything, so you still gotta pay attention to what you're doing underground. But as far as map mods go, I think it's probably the best out there if you want something that's a little more immersive. And the next thing that we have, probably my second favorite mod, of the small mods anyway, is the wearable backpack, which is a continuation of the backpack from the Better Storage mod from 1.7.10. And I just love this thing. The way I have it set up, it doesn't take up your chest slot, so you can still wear it on your back with having a chest armor. That's not default, I set it up that way. And you also have to put it down in order to interact with it. So, you know, most backpack and bag mods that I've used have been kind of... I don't know how to explain it other than overpowered, but I know, like, the concept of overpowered and survival modded is just silly. But it feels right to have that kind of a thing in a more immersive type mod pack. So, you know, I can keep all my extra tools in here that I don't need all the time. And what we're doing right now is setting up a farm. I usually just do the typical 9x9 square. And I should probably take that out of my hand. Yeah. This is not the most efficient way to farm. If you watch a few of YouTube videos online on YouTube where they experiment with this stuff, I can't remember which YouTuber I was watching, but they determined that crops grow much faster if they're one space apart from each other. So if you could have, say, wheat, and then next to that, say, carrots, and then wheat again, they'll grow much faster than if it was the solid farm. So what I'd probably do if I was doing a really big farm is make a solid 9x9 block and then put water at each corner, which I think would work. Let me think about that for a sec. No, because then it would be missing the middle stripe. But I guess you could put ones at the center too. But anyway, so we're going to plant some crops here. A couple that I'm rather interested in is I managed to get some a whole bunch of different crops from the Pam's Harvest Craft. And I'm going to plant these peanuts and blackberry seeds, because with the two of them and some other equipment you can get a jam and peanut butter sandwich, which I think will be pretty neat. So I'm going to give that separated crop thing a try, because I've never really done it before. And I got a couple of mushrooms here. I have to find somewhere good to put them so that they'll expand or spread out. Yeah, it's not dark enough under the trees. I'll also probably have to make a proper farm for those. Because mushroom soup is always an option. See what we got in our bird's nests. Yeah. Managed to get one ender pearl when I was caving. And the reason I grabbed all this clay is I want to get started on making the coke oven from Immersive Engineering. So I don't really want to use up all my coal without turning it into coal coke first, because otherwise it'll just be a waste for later progression. So what we need... Goodness, I think the thing is... actually, we should probably make the Immersive Engineering book first, which is manual. Book and electric. So we need that, and I added a recipe, oops, to turn zombie flesh into leather in the furnace, so I don't have to travel the world looking for cows. Found plenty of pigs and sheep, but so far no cows. What am I looking for? Alright, read the effing manual. Okay. So that appears to be a 9x9. Yep. Goodness, what's the math on that? Let me see here. So that's 36 clay bricks. So how do you do that? Yep. Man, I am really out of practice for Minecraft. So my plan for... Oh, yeah, we have an actual bed now. Oh my goodness. So my plan from here on is to find a really good place for setting up an initial house. We're going to need several buildings for Immersive Engineering. There's a lot of infrastructure to set up. So I would like kind of like a plains area, which means I'm going to have to do a lot of traveling probably. So when I go hunting for a place to set up, I'll probably do that off camera. In order to help me with setting up a nice big area to do all the Immersive Engineering stuff, I've got two mods in. One of them is called Schematica, which allows me to build a structure in creative mode and then save it as a blueprint. To keep our eyes open for evil pigs because of AbyssalCraft. And then load that blueprint into survival. And then as long as I have the materials on hand, I just sort of walk around the blueprint spending stamina and materials to construct it. Which is a really cool idea. I'm glad I found out about that mod. And then there's another mod that I have called Architect, which the author of the mod was basically inspired by the blueprint system from Factorio. And so basically it allows you to do the same thing as Schematica, but do it in survival mode, basically. You select an area to take a blueprint, and then you turn that blueprint into something you can use. It's a little bit better than Schematica if you want to, say, take a blueprint of, I don't know, say this structure here, and then build it somewhere else. So I'm looking forward to giving that a try. So these these buildings or temples or whatever are from Astral Sorcery, and I believe if you dig down into them, they have a chamber underneath. Let's see if I can do this without creating a huge mess. Yep. And what you'll do here is you'll put a crafting table in the middle there, and it allows you to craft special items. I don't really want to mess with that right now, though, because I'm not even sure if I want to get into Astral Sorcery until much later on. Definitely want to focus on Immersive Engineering. And I don't know why, but 3 temples spawned here. 2 of them, like, intersected with each other. So I think that's all the really cool stuff I had to show. So I'm going to go ahead and cut here and bring you guys back in when either I find something really cool or I've made a bit of progress on setting up some structures. Alright guys, I think I found a really good spot. There's where I am right now, so we're just east of that. Check that out. Lots of empty space. Relatively flat. Got a good view pretty much everywhere you look. So I think we'll be setting up here. Not entirely sure what kind of structure I'm going to build yet. Obviously I want it to fit the theme of the, you know, steampunk, dieselpunk kind of take on things. Cotton. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I don't know if I mentioned it in the first episode. I think I did. But we have, I think it's called Custom Origin in, and I, excuse me, just increased the amount of ore per vein by about 3 times. So that will cut down on the duration of mining this kind of stuff out to get what we need. I'll probably do most of my mining off screen, but you know, that way there won't be a whole lot of delay between one episode and the next due to mining. So I think that's everything I have to show right now. I'm going to go ahead and cut. And I think what we'll do is set up maybe like a time lapse or something for actually building the structures that I'm going to use in creative mode. That way you can see it go up, but without, you know, too much boring stuff. Yeah, what was that sound? Anyway, I will see you guys in a bit. Okay guys, I think I will show you one last thing before the end of the episode. We've got the bricks necessary to make our coke oven. Although we don't have enough sand. Let's go fix that real quick. Like I said, we needed it was 9 bricks, so a little bit more sand. Once we get the coke oven built and throw some stuff in it, that'll probably be it for the episode. One thing I'm thinking about doing for the next episode is, I got dark quick. Instead of having a normal episode, I just have a time lapse where I just sit there and build the first structure that I want to use to kind of set up our immersive engineering stuff in. And we actually need a bit more, but that might be pretty interesting. Oh yeah, another thing we need to make before we can finish the coke oven here is the hammer. String 2 ingots. I think we can manage that. One thing that the hammer allows you to do, or 2 other things that the hammer allows you to do other than create multi-block structures, is to break unprocessed ore into powder. And the reason you'd want to do that, let's get some silver here. Oops. So now I have silver grit and gold grit. You can combine those together into electrum grit, which is used in, when you smelt that, it'll actually create electrum ingots. So I don't have quite enough stuff to make a structure there. Guess my math was way off. Give me 1 second. I'll show you it finished, I promise. Alright guys, here it is. Here we go. So now what we want to do with that is take all of the coal that we get and throw it in there. And that'll put us out some coal coke, which is a much more efficient fuel source, and it'll also fill up with creosote. And we're going to be combining creosote with wood to get treated wood planks. And that's used not only for really nice decoration, but also for a lot of things that I want to make, such as the engineer's toolbox, which I'm going to need treated wood for the core of the wooden storage crate. Creosote oil, any wood. That thing is really cool, the engineer's toolbox. It's similar to the backpack, except, well, it's almost exactly the same as the backpack, except you can actually access it because you put it in your hotbar, but you can place it in the world too. And it's got a lot of specialized slots in it. I'll probably be showing that you next episode. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.